Welcome back everyone to what is probably video number 500 at this point. Okay, there's been so many I've kind of lost track. But those of you who've been with us for a while know it's educational videos. We try to break down complex areas on the state board exam, barber or cosmetology, into ways that people can understand better and you have a better chance of passing your test. We also provide you sometimes very specific questions and answers, especially things that are brand new on the state board exams that maybe your teachers aren't talking about, maybe your book doesn't really discuss with much clarity. But today we're going to take a little different approach. Today we're going to talk about how your state board of barbering or cosmetology actually, well, let me say how they attempt to deceive you. Okay, because there's really no other interpretation. Now, before I get into it, we cannot talk about every state board of barbering or cosmetology. There's 50 states, there's DC, Guam, the Marianas Islands, Puerto Rico. If we tried to talk about all 54, nobody would finish this. Even me, I probably couldn't finish it. It'd just go on for hours and hours and hours. We've picked out the three largest states in terms of population: California, Texas, and Florida. Now, to put this in perspective, California, Texas, and Florida have a combined population of almost 90 million people. Again, putting in perspective, there are 195 countries in the world. Only 15 countries have a population more than 90 million people, which means 180 countries are smaller. California, Texas, and Florida, if they were a country, would be the 15th largest country in the world. Okay? 180 countries smaller. These three states have enormous populations, and that's why we chose these three, because I think they demonstrate the whole country. Now, we're going to begin with Florida. I'm going to tell you some information about the Florida Barber and Cosmetology test. If you go to the Florida website, you will find the pass and failure rate. Now, the state board goes out of their way to make this difficult to find on their website. They're required to publish it. They're not required to make it easy to find. But I will tell you what you will find. Those of you who really soldier through and find it, you will see that the pass rate for cosmetology last year, 2023, and I say 2023 for this reason. We are now in 2024. The state will not publish the results until the summer of 2025. So we have the most recent results, 2023. The pass rate for cosmetology in Florida in 2023 was 49%. That makes the failure rate was 51%. The pass rate for barbers in Florida was 40%. The failure rate was 60%. Now, don't believe me, I'm just a guy on the internet. Do your own research. Go to the Florida Barber or Florida Cosmetology Board's website, find the numbers. 40% pass for barbers, 60% failure. 49% pass for cosmetology, 51% failure. Then you will find Texas, the next biggest state. Texas does something a little interesting. They actually publish the number, not just the percentage, the actual number. And what you find out is that roughly 20,000 people took the cosmetology exam in Texas in 2023. About the same number in 2022. 20,000 people. Of those 20,000 people, the pass rate for cosmetology was 48%. The failure rate was 52%. It's not me saying this, it's right on the Texas website. Now, the pass rate for barbers was 46%, and the failure rate was 54%. Now we have Florida and Texas, both telling you right on their website, you are statistically more likely to fail than pass. The numbers are there in the tens of thousands of students, not one-off, tens of thousands. Now we come to the big one, California. California has 40 million people. Put it in perspective, that's more than the population of the entire country of Canada. Okay, now, California, very interesting. I've been here in business in California for the best part of 40 years. On the California website, www.barbercosmo.ca.gov, unlike most states, California has a combined barber cosmetology board. Write this down and go to it. www.barbercosmo.ca.gov. Now here's what they've done recently. For 25 or 30 years, you went onto the Barber Cosmo website, and at the very top on the right corner it said schools. You clicked on schools and you got a drop-down menu beginning with barbers, then cosmetology, then aesthetics, then manicure. And it gave you alphabetically, from a school beginning with A to a school beginning with Z, it gave you the pass and failure rates, the actual number of people and the percentages going back every quarter for 5 years. Now, all of a sudden, the California Barber Cosmo Board revamped their website. The information is still there because it's required by law to be there. It's just hidden from you. Now, if you look at the top of their website, on the right side, you will see it says careers, contact us, enforcement, resumes, search, and setting. You want to click on the button that says search. A window will open and you click in there, you just type in cosmetology passing rates or barber passing rates, or the simplest way is to type in school passing rates. Again, school passing rates. And then you will find what you used to find really easily under schools, beginning with barbers, then cosmetology, then aesthetics, then nail technology. Beginning with the school beginning with A, goes down every single school alphabetically, quarter by quarter, going back for 5 years. Same thing that was always there, but they've just made it much more difficult to find now. And you have to kind of ask yourself, why would they make it hard to find? Who benefits by making it hard to find? The state has no benefit in making it hard to find, so why did they do that? The schools benefit because it allows the schools to hide their poor pass rates from you. Makes it much more difficult. I go from school to school. Half the students in the state don't even realize that there is such a thing as the barbercosmo.ca.gov website. And half the ones that know don't know how to find their school's passing rate. They're like, I didn't know we could find that. Well, yes, you can. And here's what you find if you go there. For 2023, the cosmetology passing rate in California was 55%. It's the only state in the country with more than 50% pass. But that still means 45% failed, okay? When 40,000 people took their test and 18,000 out of 40 failed, that's not a very good rate for the schools. 55% pass rate for cosmetology, 45% failure rate. Now for barbers, it flips on its head. The pass rate for barbers in California is 35%. The failure rate is 65%. Roughly, what's that mean, ladies and gentlemen? For every 10 barbers that take the test, 7 fail and 3 pass. It's not me saying this. It's right on the state board's website. Just go there. www.barbercosmo.ca.gov. At the very top, click on search. When the window opens, type in school passing rates and scroll down till you get yours. Now, I did a little experiment here. There are 260 schools in California. We obviously can't talk about 260 schools. And I'm not going to signal out any particular school, okay? But I'm going to tell you what I found. I took 10 schools at random. And by random, I mean geographically, from a school very close to the Mexican border to a school very close to the Oregon border. So from south to north. I took schools beginning with the letter A and schools beginning with the letter Z. I took 5 private schools and I took 5 chain schools. Okay? I'm not going to mention a name here, you know what the chain schools are. And here's what I discovered, okay? The numbers didn't change. Private school, jumps out of my head, okay? Like chain schools, I'm sorry, okay? Private schools or chain schools. Scores are the same. Expensive schools, inexpensive schools. Scores are the same. Now there's one school, I'm not going to mention its name, but I can't avoid mentioning the rates. They had a 20% pass rate and an 80% failure rate, and it's right there on the website. Now, we've done little marketing across the country in the last few years. We've sent out letters to hundreds of schools, specifically 100 schools in California out of 265 schools, and 100 schools across the rest of the country, offering our book. Many of you have seen this book before. This is a very simple book. It has every question asked by your state in this calendar year. If you open it up just to a random page, it gives you the question, the 4 possible answer choices. It tells you the page in your textbook where you can read more about it. Okay, the question, the 4 possible answer choices on your exam, the correct choice, and then the textbook page, Milady or Pivot Point, you can go read more about it. This book retails for $60 on our website. Now, some people might think that's a lot of money. I recently took 2 of my grandsons to Del Taco with me. It cost us $60 to eat imitation Mexican food for lunch. I say imitation Mexican food for this reason. I love Mexican food. The 2 cooks, one I happen to know personally is a Russian lady, and one is a Haitian lady. And when last I checked, Mexican food didn't come from Russia or Haiti. So it cost me $60 for imitation Mexican food. For $60, you can guarantee your career for the rest of your life. It's a very good investment. Now, circling back to the schools, we offered these books to the schools for $40 if they bought in increments of at least 10. Okay? You know how many California schools of 100 responded to us? 1. The schools have a 40% pass rate and a 60% failure rate across the state of California, and 1 school elected to do something about that. And bizarrely enough, that 1 school had a pretty decent pass rate. They were in San Francisco. They had one of the better pass rates. They were up at 80%. They wanted to have 100%. Hats off to the lady who runs that school. Yeah. The other 99 schools ignored us, which means they're perfectly fine with their 40% pass rate. And why wouldn't they be? They have your money. You spent the best part of a year and thousands of dollars, which you probably really couldn't actually afford, and you have nothing to show for it. But the school makes plenty of money. If you want to stop this nonsense, give us a call, 760-534-4434. We can have operators in English and Spanish. Our material is available in English and Spanish. 760-534-4434. Those of you who prefer not to speak to somebody, you can go to our website or directly, www.cosmetologystateboardexam.com. Pass your test the next time you take it.